The Dallas Cowboys have made a sneaky signing, something that they desperately needed after Micah Parsons and Demarcus Lawrence went down with injuries and are expected to be out for multiple weeks. So we'll break down the signing and much more on this episode of Cowboys Digest. Welcome in everybody to Cowboys Digest. I'm your host Peter Vryonis, and today we'll be breaking down the signing, the sneaky signing that Jerry Jones has officially made as of now. And we're heading into a Sunday Night Football matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be hard to score points against that stout defense, but what you can do is hopefully slow them down on offense because they don't really have too many world beaters on that side of the football. But before we get into the video, I want to let you know that around 85% of you watching these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So go ahead, hit that sub button. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me out a ton. We were so close to my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and it would mean the world to me if we could get there. And I love making this daily content for you guys, so go ahead and leave that support down for me. But let's get straight into it right here. The Cowboys are signing pass rusher KJ Henry to a 2-year deal on the active roster off the Bengals practice squad. Henry had 1.5 sacks last year for Washington. Help on the way for depleted Cowboys pass rush. And yeah, it's no Micah Parsons. It's definitely no Demarcus Lawrence, but he is a big body that can get to the quarterback and had had a pretty good career at Clemson as well in university. So the Dallas Cowboys are signing pass rusher KJ Henry to a 2-year deal. Henry, who was signed from the Bengals practice squad, had 19 combined tackles in 10 appearances for the Commanders during his rookie year in 2023. It's a 5th-round pick for them last year. The Cowboys are expecting to play on Sunday against the Pittsburgh Steelers without both star edge rusher Micah Parsons and defensive end Demarcus Lawrence. So it's been very well documented that the Cowboys defense is brutal. It's one of the worst of all time through 4 weeks of the National Football League season here, and it is arguably the worst in Cowboys history. And on top of that, to make matters worse, you are taking away Micah Parsons, who is an all-pro level defensive end, despite some of the struggles that he's had early on in the season so far, and Demarcus Lawrence, who is a pretty good run stopper, who hasn't really provided much in that department so far this season, but still, the point stands. Those are two extreme talents that are not going to be in the lineup for until the bye week, I would suspect, for the Dallas Cowboys. So you need something, and it's hard to make a trade at this juncture of the season because no one is truly out of it unless you know that you're tanking going into the season. But it's hard to effectuate trades in week 4. And it's just not realistic to expect to get an impact guy this early in the season. Maybe towards the trade deadline, Davante Adams is rumored to be maybe headed the other way out of Las Vegas. You got Deontay Johnson, who I made a video on just a couple of days ago. Like, there are some names that are swirling out there, but you rarely see trades this early in the National Football League season. And that is the reason why you got to rely on maybe guys from practice squads on other teams, guys that aren't signed already. And that's what the Cowboys are doing here. A 5th-round pick in the 2023 draft out of Clemson, Henry was one of the Commanders' final roster cuts this preseason. The Bengals claimed Henry off waivers the following day, but cut him weeks later. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones has indicated his team does not plan on pursuing a trade for a replacement for Lawrence and Parsons, so it looks like Dallas will be hoping Nealand, Golston, and Henry can fill in for the missing starters, at least for now. And that is a razor-thin defensive line if I've ever seen one. Nealand, Golston, and Henry. And the defensive tackles are going to have to pick up the slack as well. I liked what I saw out of Mozzie Smith last week against the New York Giants. He did great against the run. He was the #1 rated player according to PFF on the field last week, and hopefully that's a sign of better things to come for the former first round pick for the Cowboys, because he has not lived up to that amount of hype thus far. But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. And here are KJ Henry's PFF stats. I mean, not great. He's sort of a middle of the road kind of player. Had 16 solo tackles last year, 1 assist, 1 sack, 1.5 sacks technically. So he's a part-time player. He's going to be thrusted into a more superior role, I would say, with the Cowboys, considering the injuries that they have. So it's going to be interesting to see how this signing pans out, how much of an impact he truly will have on this Cowboys roster. And you take a look at his overall stats in his NFL career. He did play a couple of games with the Bengals this season before they ultimately cut him, but nothing really to write home about here. Then you got the tackles, as I mentioned before, the 1.5 sacks. I mean, it's that's a part-time player for you. That's what that is right there. And KJ Henry is going to come in and have to be thrusted in a larger role than he was used to. At least you would suspect so. So, look, we'll see. We'll see what this does to impact the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not expecting it to turn around their season or anything, but there's no doubt in my mind that they needed some sort of help after the Micah Parsons and Demarcus Lawrence injuries. Something had to be done on that front, and I'm glad that Jerry Jones is addressing it. He doesn't really have a choice at this juncture of the season because it's in danger of getting away from you if you don't address these issues right now. So, KJ Henry coming into Dallas. We'll see what that does for them, but not the most exciting signing. Could be a sneaky pickup though, as I mentioned in the intro. 5th-round pick, got good athleticism on it. He's shown the ability to get to the quarterback. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see how this progresses for him. I still think the Cowboys need a lot of help in other areas of their football team. I mean, they can't get Deron Bland back soon enough because we saw a cross from Trevon Diggs last week against the Giants. You had Oruwariye, and then Booth was getting absolutely torched. He got benched after the first quarter, so their secondary is in dire need of some help. Their defensive line is in absolute shambles right now with Parsons and Demarcus Lawrence out. The running game, we know that that's going to be an issue, even though Rico Dowdle had an okay week last week considering how he performed in the first couple of games there. But you need running back help, you need receiving help, you need offensive line help. Tyler Guyton is not cutting it right now. You need help in a lot of different areas. So KJ Henry is not going to come in here and be the savior of the Dallas Cowboys, but he's going to provide a little bit of relief in an area that is probably their biggest weakness, especially with the injuries to Micah Parsons and Demarcus Lawrence. But that'll wrap it up for this episode of Cowboys Digest. Again, guys, thank you so much for the support that we've received on previous videos. Make sure to hit that sub button because a large majority of you watching these videos are not subscribed, and it helps me make this daily content for you. So I'd really appreciate that. So shout out to you guys for making it this far. And hopefully the Cowboys can move to 3-2 after a win at Acrisure Stadium, the newly named Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh. But I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.